Ladies, you don't have to compromise, okay? You don't have to compromise the quality of the man. This should not get a reward for swimming, and men should not get a reward for being a good guy. Being a good guy is simply baseline, okay? Being a good guy is baseline. But you got to be clear on what kind of man do you want. Do you want the good guy who is going to drain you, who doesn't have any goals, who has no motivation, the kind of man that's looking for you to save him or fix him or solve his problems? Or are you looking for the good guy who got it together? The good guy who is building legacy, the good guy that can fund your future trust fund for your children. Like, what ma'am? What exactly do you want? The Build-A-Bear or the elite man? Put it in the chat so that you're being intentional. Because what I'm going to teach you and what I'm getting ready to share with you today is secrets that nobody else knows on how to be able to attract the elite man who will be your best friend and effed up, fun, faithful, and once forever to love your soul. And I promise you, you're going to want to take notes, ma'am. Okay? You're going to want to take notes. Now, as we're talking, I want you to tell me, how long have you been single? How long have you been trying to attract your romantic best friend? Put it in the chat. If it has been longer than 3 months that you have been single, then the issue is solvable. It's easy. If you just listen to what it is that I'm getting ready to teach you, then in less than 120 days, you could be in the arms of your romantic best friend. The kind of man that would buy you a luxury car, put you on his private plane, and propose to you in 11 months like one of my clients. I'm talking about the kind of men who aren't selfish with their money. The kind of men that are going to add value to your world and treat you like the queen that you are, because, ladies, you deserve that. Okay? You don't have to keep wasting time. If you have been single that long, then only reason why is because the tools that you're using isn't working. It's because you have what I call our love blocks that are silently blocking you from the love that is looking for you. Okay? You literally have love that's looking for you. Now, I want you to put in the chat, why do you think that you're still single? Put it in the chat. Let me hear the reasons why you think you're still single, ma'am. There are two types of men. There are the men that are going to add value to your world, or the kind of men that are going to take value from your world. There are two. And that's because everything has a frequency and everything has a vibration. Everything. Anything you see has a frequency and a vibration. And the frequency and vibration in alignment with a man is either aligned with that of a man who's a giver or that of a man who's a taker. Now, you got to understand that we call these, if we're going to call this alignment, they have certain names, the energy of them, and it flows through each of us, okay? Feminine energy and masculine energy. Now, the reason why you have breasts and your body parts as a woman is because that energy is what told your DNA to make you the way it is. That's why. That's how it expressed itself. And the same thing when it comes to masculine energy. Now, there's a balance. Everybody has feminine and masculine energy. However, the balance for a woman who wants to attract an elite, high-value man who wants to pour into her is 70% feminine energy, 30% masculine. Write that down because I really want y'all to have it stick. I'm a teacher and a coach first. And the reason why 100% of my clients walk away with attracting relationships and up-leveling their life is because the strategy that I use to help you rewire your subconscious mind allows it to stick, and it allows them to be able to permanently change. So naturally, they're a magnet to good men. Naturally, they're a magnet to more abundance. Naturally, they're a magnet to more happiness. Okay? So if you want that, and you want the kind of man that is going to be like, hey, baby, we're going to take my plane and we're going to take a trip to Monaco because then listen up, because that requires a certain kind of strategy. If you want the kind of man that's like, listen, whatever money you make, that's your money. Do what you want to do with your money. But my job is to make sure that I pay the bills. My job is to make your life easier. And he loves doing that. that kind of man is going to be in his healthy masculine energy. The mix is going to be 70% in his masculine energy, 30% in his feminine energy. Now, if you're not clear on that, then you're going to slip and fall for the man who is out of alignment with the type of man that you want, that can give you the type of life and results and love that you're looking for. Okay? And he's going to keep taking from you. And when you're dating the elite man, there's a certain way that you move based in science. And I'm going to tell you how I discovered this by accident. Now, I was not setting out to be a love guru or a love expert or the number one expert when it comes to women attracting elite love. That was never what my intention was. I found myself a single woman with a blessing in the form of a child after walking away from going to med school, after graduating honors from Florida State University, and finding myself homeless with no money. How that happened? I followed a Build-A-Bear, okay? And it completely affected my life. And when I felt like I let my daughter down, I made her a promise. I said, Mommy's going to show you what healthy love looks like. I'm going to break the pattern in my family because my mother attracted unhealthy relationships. On both sides of family, everybody attracted either abusive, cheating, dysfunctional relationships. And I knew that I wanted to give my daughter more. And so I did a dating experiment because I'm a scientist. That's what I do. I love science. Science has always been my jam. And I decided that I was going to do an experiment of going on 100 dates in a little over 3 months and interviewing over 4,000 men, women, and couples. And I read hundreds of books on love, dating, and relationships, the science of attraction, the anthropology of attraction, what's the psychology of men in attraction. I studied it like my life depended on it because it did. I didn't want to see my daughter be abused like I was. But what I discovered, ladies, it was so daggone powerful. It blew my mind. First of all, when I first started off, I kept attracting Build-A-Bears, the kind of men that wanted to take from me, that would ghost me, that everything seemed great at first. And then next thing you know, he would not call, or we would go on date like 2 or 3, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, what happened to you, sir? All that hot air that you was talking about being into me, and now like you're not putting up any effort. Like, what's going on? And I kept attracting men that were fixer-uppers, men who like was still trying to figure it out. And I went from that to attracting men who are extremely successful and giving. Men who were extremely successful and kind. Men who were extremely successful and wanted to pour into me. Men wanted to give me things. And what I noticed is the givers, okay, the men that were in their masculine energy, they love giving and pouring into you. A man bought me a house, one bought me a car. I was getting shopping sprees. I was getting trips. I was getting whatever it is that I wanted without even having to ask, without even giving up the sugar cookies, ma'ams. Okay. As a matter of fact, ladies, because now the dating game has changed where women think that if they're not giving it up, then he's going to go somewhere else. How many of you believe that? The men do not require that you have sex with them. If you believe, listen to me, if you believe that the men require you to have sex or they're going to leave, then you are going to be a magnet to those kind of men. However, listen to what it is that I'm saying. Write this down. It's a different ball game when you're dating elite men. It's a different ball game when you're dating Build-A-Bears who are in their high feminized energy. That means they're out of balance from their masculine energy versus masculine elite men. Now, you got to understand, elite men are used to women throwing themselves at them. They understand diminishing returns. They understand a return on their investment. They understand what it means with value. They understand how they will pour their money into an investment, hoping that it returns dividends, okay? Hoping that there's a payoff. They also understand that there's some investments that will go nowhere, and you are no different. When you're dating elite men, The easier you are, the more you give up your body, the more you are a turnoff. You are disposable. You are not the kind of woman that he is going to want to give the castle to or share the castle with, because in his mind, he's thinking that who else did you do this with? They're not like Build-A-Bears who just think with their lower parts. They are very intentional. And get out your mind that it's all about just getting the man that has money. Because what you never want to do is be another man's collection piece. His seasonal collection item that he just puts on the mantle for a second. And when you get old and he gets tired of you, then he throws you away. You never, ever want to be that. What you want to attract is a real elite man. And an elite man is the kind of man who is a good guy, who will love your soul, and he's going to share his wealth and his success with you. That's what an elite man is. And that kind of man does not expect you to give your body up for just anybody. He expects to have to earn it and work for it, ladies. So if you don't understand like the mindset on how these men operate and how they move, then you're going to literally sabotage yourself. So there was this lady that was online, and I was tagged in her video, and she, beautiful young lady. But I can also, one of the things I can tell after doing this for so long is I can tell when a woman resonates with wife energy to an elite man versus like not so much, not even wife energy. I can tell. I don't even have to hear her talk. I can tell when a woman's resonating wife energy or not. And so in the video, she asked, like, have you ever experienced love? Like, can you tell me what it feels like to be loved and have somebody that's going to be fully into you and fully committed to you and fully honest with you and present for you? How many of you can sympathize with what she's saying? Because she was saying that I know what it feels like to be lied to. I know what it feels like to be ghosted, or for somebody to be emotionally unavailable to me or to discard me. I know what that feels like, but I don't know what it feels like to be loved. And I'm not talking about the up and down, the real passionate one where the sex was real good. I'm not talking about that. Where it was like, you know, he's married and he's like, all I want to do is be with you, and I can't because my wife is a meanie and she won't let me cheat on her no more. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about with a man who really chooses you and really sees you and really is there for you. How many of you never experienced that? With a kind of man who wants to give you the world. Somebody who's willing to sacrifice for you. Somebody who is willing to run through walls for you. He's not going to be broke. A man who's really into you, he's not going to be broke. He will work day and night and do whatever it takes in order to make sure that your life is easier and softer. That's what I'm talking about. How many of you have never experienced that kind of man? I'm not talking about your heart fluttered, okay? Your heart fluttering isn't the point. It's what was his actions. Was he trying to build a trust fund with you? Was he talking about the future with you? Was he doing that? So this young lady was saying that she never experienced what true love feels like, and, you know, what does it look like and what does it feel like? And I was planning on doing a video response, but I'm going to do a response right now. Let me tell you what it feels like. Now, I've experienced being married to a Build-A-Bear, being married to somebody where I'm the one that had to be the provider, where I'm the one that's sitting there like, why can't you treat me right? Why can't you be present for me? Why do I feel so drained and so freaking tired? Somebody who cheated on me. Like, I've done all of that. Wrote the book and sold it, okay? And then I am married to my husband, who's my best friend. It's been 11 years. And let me tell you what it feels like. My husband is so amazing that I made him promise me that he finds me again in the next life 1,000 times over. Like, I'm like, we gonna do this again and make sure I go first. You're not allowed to go before me in this life. Like, my husband is 10 toes down, my bestest friend. I would rather be with him anywhere on the planet than to be with anybody else. And no matter how hard life ever got, I always knew that my best friend was always going to be loyal to me and right in my corner. So in 2020, right after I won an award, I've told the story before, my job discriminated against me, like real bad. It was real ugly. And this wasn't the first time. It was like the third time. And I was like crying and I was upset. And my husband looked at me and my husband was like, F your damn job. He was like, I got us. Don't worry about your job. Start doing your business. I believe in you. I believe in your business. Y'all, I was scared as heck. I wouldn't jump out there. The universe had to make me jump out there, almost had to kick me out there. And so my husband told me, quit your job. That's all I needed. My husband paid up our bills for an entire year so I wouldn't be stressed out about the bills. And then he invested in my business. And you know, I cried for like a good 8 months because I couldn't find clients. I couldn't find customers. It was really, really hard. Trying to figure it out. I got scammed by a publicist. Like I lost $500,000 of his money. You're like trying to start the business. And I told my husband, I would cry to him all the time. And I'm like, maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I need to go back. Because I was in pharmaceutical sales. Like I was already making multiple six figures. And I told him like, maybe I made a mistake. Like I need to go back to my job. And my husband would look at me every day and be like, you got a job, work your business. You're going to make it. You got a job, work your business. Even now, even with going through her pocket coach, many of you have been on the journey. You've seen me like up and downs. I got scammed 3 times with the app. It's been over $1.5 million invested in the app. And my husband has looked at me every single day like, Shay, you're going to be fine. You're going to make it. Keep going. Like my husband will look at me in a way where he sees my soul. Like, I got you. And to be loved like that, it feels like every night, every morning that I wake up, like I just woke up in a slumber party next to my best friend. It takes life to a whole other level. Matter of fact, being married to him is so amazing that I would go through 1,000 times all the heartbreak, all the hurt that I met, that I experienced to be with him again. He was completely worth everything that I've been through. That's how amazing my husband is. And guess what, ladies? Every single one of you has that man who's waiting for you. You have that man who has already been pre-selected for you, because if you didn't, you wouldn't want him. You wouldn't be here listening to me right now trying to figure out how to meet him if you didn't have that man. The reason why you are here is because you hear the call from his heart that he is waiting to love you. God's not going to sit there and set some people up to be loved and then not you too. The only thing blocking you from that love is the belief that you have about that love, aka your love blocks. That is the only thing blocking you. You simply not having the tools. You simply not knowing exactly what to do. That's the only thing. But you, baby, you have a soulmate. I promise you, you have a soulmate. No matter what it is that you've been through, you have a soulmate. And if you have the desire to be with your king, to be with your best friend, to be with your love, to be with your one, then that means that's of God. That's God telling you that you have a soulmate, because D means of in Latin. Sire means father. That means it's of the Father for you to have love.